blasting through the depths of outer space.
Hello, I'm alive. I don't know what's going on.
By your command.
Fascinating.
God damn you all to hell!
Nando.
It's the Solar Sci-Fi Podcast.
Hello,
This is
welcome
episode
to this week's
91.
the beginning
no,
of the year.
It's
Solo
actually
Sci-Fi
talking over
Podcast.
each other. We decided to
I
actually
put to
start the
you
show at the same time.
Michael
Martin
Ball,
Fowler, also known
Crawford.
as Solo, also Martin Sci-Fi Appeal. Hello, Martin.
Hello, Happy New Year.
Hello, that was the worst intro we've ever done. We decided just before we hit recording to actually sort of talk at the same time. So I think next week we'll be back to normal. Happy New Year to you. How are you?
I'm all right. Christmas was like a daze.
Yeah, it's very strange.
It's the strangest Christmas I've ever had. I don't know. It was just a daze. The whole thing of it. It wasn't bad or good. It was like. I
think partly it's because we didn't have a normal Christmas last year or the year before last now, and it kind of had some elements of normality. But for me, it was very strange because when we all finished school and work, there's a big long gap until we finally got to Christmas. And then it was nice. I enjoyed Christmas, but it was a bit of a strange one this time round.
Yeah,
I don't know why it didn't quite click the normal way. I don't know. I mean, in some ways, I'm glad to be back doing normal stuff. But the only thing is, I had so many things I watched over New Year's and over Christmas and stuff, which I want to talk about. So let's quickly ask you about some shows I saw. First of all, Matrix Resurrections. What did you think of it? And that's the end of the show, guys. We're reviewing this next week, actually. So a brief description of what you thought about it, and we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, I was in and out with it. I wouldn't.
Oh, that's strange.
Well, I don't. I was bored shitless.
Oh, I wasn't bored. I wasn't bored.
No, I was getting annoyed over the red pill business. It went on far too long.
I actually didn't
when
mind that.
The analyst came in, suddenly I livened up. When the analyst
was because he was the replacement to the architect.
Yeah. When the analyst come in, suddenly I became very focused on it. So I'm like, for now. But where it went, it was a bit of a disappointment. I was hoping it'd go a certain way, but I'll tell you next week about that.
Yeah. I'll just quickly say that I did for the most part enjoy it. I think that the elements that let it down was that it wasn't a good musical score and the fight scenes were shite. But I did compared to all the other films have got really fantastic fight scenes with the music. This one lost that. But I still am glad that they made it. I'm glad I did enjoy it for the most part. But let's go to a proper analysis next week of it. That's our show for next week. But it's certainly interesting addition to the Matrix franchise. I also saw Ghostbusters Afterlife. I've just seen that. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I thought that was a lovely film. Lovely film. It was introducing for a new generation of people. It had the continuity. It was a great follow-on. Lovely film. I'm very pleased they made it. Very, very good film. I'm going to watch it again. I've only seen it once, and I'm going to see The Matrix again as well. But out of the two, probably Ghostbusters was better than The Matrix as sequels, I think. So what else have we been seeing? Oh, The Book of Boba Fett, episode 1. I've seen. So far, what do you think? What do you think of it so far?
Very impressed. Yeah, I'm going to watch part 2 tonight.
I'm watching part 2 tonight. Yeah, very good.
It's not quite the Mando just yet, but it was the first episode.
I
enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I've got a feeling by tonight and next week this thing's going to be flowing like there's no.
Well, I can tell you that episode 2, because I've already looked at the length, is 50 minutes, so it's about 15 minutes longer. Because the last one was only about like 36 minutes, so it's almost like another 15 minutes extra.
Yeah. Right.
So, but I liked a lot of the. I mean, obviously, the continuity from The Mandalorian. I quite like the new theme tune that's growing on me. I like the fact you've still got some.
I love the music to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great, and all the creature in it on Tatooine that look like the Kraken from the old. It looked like the
Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans. That's what it looked just like the Kraken.
Yeah, it was such a weird-looking creature, wasn't it?
It wasn't like anything we've ever seen on Star Wars. Yeah. It was different, but I can't wait. And also how he got out of the Sarlacc pit, which I thought was quite good.
Some people complained about that,
Well, they can, people are going to complain
I
about
think
everything.
it made sense. I think he woke up in there a couple of days later, burnt his way out, which would make sense.
Because he's still got the weapon. Yeah, exactly. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I think it made sense how he got out.
And I know that part 2 is going to continue on this kind of like backstory as to how he is now as the new kind of head of Tatooine, not mafia, I don't know, the underworld kind of thing. So
do you know I found interesting? We're going to learn. I think we're going to learn a lot more about the Sand People.
Oh, I love the Tusken Raiders. I mean, they've got different tribes, different colours. Really, really developing that race very well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The same tribe of sense of honour as well.
Yeah, and of course they also know sign language. They don't speak like in the language. They do the grunts, but they also go like that. I thought it was very clever. Yeah, so far very interested in that. A good start. As we've seen, I've obviously been watching The Expanse, the first 2 episodes of season 6. You're saving them up, at last I heard, until
final episode next week, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Yeah. There's a penultimate this Friday.
Yeah. Is it the final this Friday?
No. It's episode 5 this Friday, and then episode 6, which is the feature length. I will say I've been a bit disappointed by this season. That's all I'm saying. Wait till you see it, but you might like it because you liked the Groundhog Day Doctor Who special, The Eve of the Daleks, didn't you? Did you like it? I didn't think it was very good. I didn't click with it.
It was nothing I haven't seen before.
Yeah, but
I didn't mind it. I didn't resent it. I mean, I want I know there's a scene towards the end where people will have been kicking off over it. But there will have been. I can imagine some coffee tables went up in the air.
There were some eyes rolling.
Why they're doing this again?
Yeah, and what? The executive officer at BBC, and he's got that's the tick there, that's the good one there, that's the one.
Yeah. I thought, we've had this before with David Tennant,
with Rose, and
I thought, why just drag this out again?
Yeah, there's only 2 episodes left, so it's not going to go very far, whatever it is.
Whatever it is, and I found it. I didn't mind it. I did quite like the Daleks Gatling ray gun. And some of it were all right. It was sort of not too bad. I'd say it was her best Christmas special. But I'm like you, I was half in, half out.
Well,
but I've got no major moaning, whinging, complaining points about it. I just accepted it for what it was.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, for me, we've seen so many Groundhog Day stories. Obviously, Groundhog Day itself, which we're going to be reviewing soon. Then, of course, The Next Generation had Cause and Effect, which was a fantastic episode. Stargate SG-1 had Window of Opportunity, which was also a really, really good one. And then in a few weeks' time, we're going to do another Groundhog Day time loop. It's 1 hour. I don't think you've seen it. It's one of my all-time favourite short stories with Kurtwood Smith called 12:01 p.m., which got adapted into a movie, which also featured Martin Landau from Space 1999. So I prefer the short to the feature length, but you'll love it. I promise you. When you see it, you're going to be really impressed with it. So it was okay. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just up in the air with Doctor at the moment. I'm looking forward to a change now. I just I think that in due course I will like this era of Doctor Who more. I've always had a difficulty with it, but I'll go back to some of the old Peter Capaldi stories, and they are just so good compared to this era. They just feel better.
I think we've been very fair to it, Yeah. When they changed her into a woman, we went with it. We never moaned.
Of course, we tried. Yeah, exactly.
We've been there since that day, and I think we've been more than over generous. It's just that a lot of the stories were absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
And
I just
and you know, I think we've been fair, but I mean they had to do it, didn't they? In this episode, they had to, you know, and coffee tables across this nation of ours will have gone up in the air. Trust me. And it will have been kicked off, you know, thinking why they just can't help themselves, can they? But, you know, that's the way it is. We've had 3 years of this, you know. I'll be glad when she regenerates. Shut the fucking door at TARDIS on your way out and don't come back.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
So, and Chibnall, you can go as well.
Yeah, I mean, he can swivel as far as I'm concerned. I mean, you know, he can swivel on my mid-digit because I just think, I'm sorry, I don't know what he's been doing. I don't think it's entirely him. I think it's also a lot of the BBC's back in the background saying you've got to do this, you've got to do that, and he's kind of, you know, and of course, when Russell T Davies returns, it'd be interesting to see what he will have to do to keep the people on the BBC head office, you know, the Director General, keep them happy and what they're supposed to be doing and what's supposed to be politically correct and what should be, you know. There's rumours that there might be another female doctor who's going to be the next one. I still think it's going to be a male doctor, but that's just my opinion. There's lots of rumours going around. And I think the last one to ask about is Star Trek Discovery. What have you thought about season 4 so far?
Well, and I saw last week's episode, and I was, I did. I wasn't too sort of happy with it. I liked the bit about, you know, where they've discovered the place where this thing is coming from, or being controlled, but they kept that right back, and I thought, and then suddenly we got into the computer having emotional issues and a debate on whether it's sentient. I just shut the fucking thing down, removed it, and I want to put up with it. It's a computer. Do as you're told. You know, I didn't want an hour of them dribbling on, right, about how the computer were having emotional feelings about the crew when we had this the week before. I can't deal with it. It's a computer. Right, I know it merged with all that knowledge and it's now sentient. And he's going, oh, well, I don't want you to go to the planet because I love you all and I want to protect you all. Look, it's bollocks. I don't want this. I don't
I can appreciate that.
I don't, you know, then they have to have a big emotional debate with computer. And, you know, I know where this is going now. I know where this is
going.
Yeah,
but they're trying to do, the thing is we've had artificial intelligence or life being examined through data and then holographic rights in the holographic doctor.
Yes.
And now the ship's computer, Zora I think it's called, is suddenly self-aware. And it's now going to be a Starfleet officer, even though it's the ship itself. I don't mind. I can see that they're trying to do the Star Trek philosophy of different forms of existence and intelligence in different, you know, i.e. this one's going to be
50 years of that.
Yeah, but maybe there's a point where there's only certain stories that they can keep telling. Now, you know, this is a genre which has been going on for 50 plus years. And maybe they just can't think of anything which is unique. I mean,
what's going to happen here, right? Is now I think I've got the old picture of it all now, right? On February 10th, they're going to go flying off to this part of the galaxy or wherever they're going to mushroom drive to, right? To find these higher evolved beings. Now, I think these beings are doing something, some kind of thing, and they're not thinking about the consequences of what they're doing because we're so below them, right?
Right.
And they've got all that alien intelligence on board from the last series, what that control wanted.
Yeah.
And they're going to fly there. It's going to be a big political upshift with the Federation president, so that they'll get the capability to destroy whatever it is, and there'll be a big issue about it. But they'll all turn like, you know how I mean, and they'll come to some agreement, and Zora will probably become totally sentient and merge with whatever it is at the other side, and it'll all be fucking hunky-dory, and they'll fly off back to wherever they're going. I want a malevolent presence. I want somebody or something destroying worlds on purpose. I want something like that for once. I've had enough. I'm not having it anymore. computers with emotional breakdowns. I want this to be done right. I want it to be the Metrons. I want the galactic barrier.
I tell you what I'd like. Well, I mean, obviously it's an artificial intelligence of some sort, which I think is going to have a connection to Zora, definitely.
Yeah.
But I suddenly thought, as you were saying this, one thing which was an artificial intelligence which came from outside of the galaxy, which was quite deadly, and then we never saw any of their race again or where it came from.
I know where you're going with this.
The Doomsday Machine.
Yeah.
Now, wouldn't that be fantastic if there was a connection with that? I don't think it will be. The creators of the Doomsday Machine.
That would be amazing.
Now, I don't think that'll happen. But that's what, as you said that, I suddenly thought of the Doomsday Machine because it's outside the galaxy, and it would be really great way of syncing in with the classic series. I'd love that. It won't happen though.
Yeah.
It won't happen.
No.
It won't happen.
It's all going to be all wonderful, and it'll be some kid that got trapped somewhere controlling it but not realizing he's doing it, and you'll go on board and convince him, no, don't press that button, you're killing me.
Yes.
But I thought it all was a game. I pressed this button and then I watched worlds destroyed and I thought it was a game. And then Zora will come in and merge with the machine and they'll become a new life form like Vija, and it'll go and fuck off and shag Vija and have little Vijas and go live somewhere on a higher plane of existence.
# little Vijas. Yeah, I can see that. I don't know.
Sorry,
I don't know.
No. But
It's
this
weird.
series, I found last week's episode a lot of dribble. Some of it were interesting, but so far this series has been better than what we got last year.
I just wish, I know I keep saying this as a ship guy, can we please have some more exterior shots of the ship, flying in, beauty shots and stuff like that? We never see it. I mean, last week's, we saw the episode, the ship was in space dock. That was one shot at the beginning. And then we saw a book ship, the stupid ship that goes, splits into about 15 different bits and then reclusters together, which is, why would it do that? Why the hell does it fly along and suddenly go, and it goes,
What do you think to that scientist dude that comes from another universe?
The one that's on Riser. Yeah, interested.
He's not from the Mirrorverse, though.
No. I mean, I reckon it's a link to the Kelvin universe myself. Because they've already mentioned the Kelvin universe once in this series with the David Cronenberg character mentioned the Kelvin universe. He did.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did. So there's already a link to it. I don't think they're going the Mirror universe again. I think that's done now. But I don't know. I mean, it might be a completely different universe.
It might be Lorca behind all this. He might be behind it all.
It's
it could be Lorca.
I don't think Lorca's
because I don't think he's dead. I think he'll have been transported through time and space because he fell into mushroom vortex, didn't he? So he'll be back.
It's strange. I've been watching lots of Stargate this week. I've been delving into SG-1 and Atlantis and old episodes. And I look at it. I look at the special effects. I look at the storylines. I look at the comedy. and it's just,
it's just what you want, isn't it?
It's just so good. It was just so good.
And
it's not like this in Discovery. It's just not. I do not just. I can't really explain Discovery. I don't dislike it and loathe it, but it's something which is so missing. And now we had redesigned Ferengis, which don't look right. We actually saw a Cardassian which actually looked right, which is amazing, sort of right. But I don't know. There's just something still wrong with this current Star Trek for me.
There's something missing.
There's something missing. There's something
I don't know what it is. I watched a couple of episodes of DS9, and it was just so right.
Every
it was just classic. So right, the characters, all of it.
I'm desperate to watch is DS9 in HD and Voyager. I mean, God, can you please somebody just spend the $5 million, whatever it is, to get them done? Get them in HD like they have with the Next Generation. It's got to be.
Well, if anybody would like to donate $10 million to the podcast, I'm sure that we will.
We'll try. Yeah, we'll make a phone call to Alex Kurtzman, who'll tell me to piss off.
Yeah.
It's just such a good series, that era. No, and it's funny actually. I'm glad that you said that, because somebody on a comment said something about the Star Trek franchise, and it really resounded with me. He said that basically the original series is like the parent, like the father, mother and father together kind of thing, and then the Next Generation, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise, all those ones are like the offspring. They're like, and they're all, each one of those is like a sibling. They're all kind of related. Discovery is part of the Star Trek family, but it's more like a distant cousin. It's kind of like it has a relation to it, but it's nowhere. It's like a long distance cousin. It's nowhere near what the other jigsaw collective Tetris blocks of the Star Trek universe are. It's out there. It's trying
that's like the long distance cousin you don't want turning up at
Christmas.
Yeah,
it's like the black sheep of the family, and it's kind of like
it's of the family.
No, it is, but I mean, it's all the Kurtzman era. I mean, I'm not talking about the animated stuff. I'm not into the animated stuff. I'm talking about live action Star Trek series. The two we've had so far, both of them have lost the. They're
I bothered watching them. I watched 6 episodes of season 2 of the what's it called?
Lower Decks.
Lower Decks, and I couldn't be bothered with it. I don't know.
It was all right. I mean, it was okay, but I don't want to see a Simpsons style Star Trek series.
No, I don't.
I want philosophy. I want characters who are in situations where it makes me think. That's what science fiction is all about.
I don't mean to say this, but if you think about it, right? If they're like this now with Doctor Who and Star Trek, what they're going to be like with a new Stargate series?
Well, you see, this is the
what
thing.
They're going to be like with that.
But look at Star Wars, look at the Mandalorian, look at the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, that's true. If they can keep, well, why is it they've got it right?
I don't know.
Why is it?
I don't know. I don't know why they do. Why is it that both those shows which have come along? Okay, I know Boba Fett's early. I've only seen one episode, but it's still there. It's still Star Wars. It's just right. It's just, I don't know what it is about it, and it's not like that in Star. The Orville's really good. The Orville does it brilliantly. But like I said, both Doctor Who and Star Trek, to me, I don't know. I can't quite explain. Maybe it's because I'm getting old and looking at it from a slightly more older perspective.
Yeah, it could be. Maybe we're dinosaurs.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm 50 this year now. I can say that. I'm 50 in December. Be an old bastard then. I'm going to cross that red line that you keep telling me about when I get to 50.
Just stop it. I went out yesterday. Absolutely knackered this morning.
Yeah, what have you been doing with yourself?
Well, I met a friend just to get up till 11 o'clock. I was absolutely shattered when I got in. 20 years ago, I wouldn't have been a problem, you know.
No, I don't.
Now it's, the back's going now.
A bit achy, and I know. Yeah, it is strange how you kind of look at perspectives of doing things, you know, and it's like, I can't be bothered, I'm too tired. And it's like, you know, I mean, here we are, 2022. I mean, bloody hell.
The year of Silent Green, brother.
I know. And actually, it was Tuesday, yesterday when we recorded this. Did you go and get your Silent Green?
No, I'm storing them up secretly.
Storing it up, are you? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I love that film.
I've been pedaling on my bike to get the electricity.
To get the webcam going.
Yeah.
To get the webcam going, yeah.
Just for an hour.
I'm pedaling now. Look, this is the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast, episode 96.
We're going to have to stop for a couple of minutes.
Well, look, it's nice to catch up with you anyway. At least we've had some good discussion. Shall we go into our focus of the week? Because this one's another one I want to talk about.
Yes, let's go into the focus of the week.
All right, here we go.
It's the Solar Sci-Fi Focus of the Week.
So I've just finished this series. I know you've seen it as well a few weeks ago. So I only finished it about 3 or 4 days ago. And that was the reimagining of the classic 1960s series Lost in Space. A series which I actually never really got into, I have to admit. I don't know why. It's just one of those shows I never quite clicked with. But I saw the film version in about 1998. I think that was made. And then this series which I think was on Netflix, was started in 2018. It did 2 seasons, which I remember, but I saw them ages ago. And they've just finally did I think it was a half season. No, actually, it was slightly shorter than the other 2 seasons. Season 3, post-COVID, all restrictions. I enjoyed it. So let's ask you first of all, what did you think of the series in total, and also of the recent series which just finished a few weeks ago?
The new series I really enjoyed, but I thought it finished too early.
Do you?
Yeah.
The problem with me is I liked it a lot, but I have to admit this, because it's been about 2 years since I saw the first 2 seasons, I couldn't remember all of the actual story arcs as to what happened to all the characters. I knew obviously you had the robot that Will Robinson fixed, and then you had the race from his race of robots who but why were the race of robots, because I must have forgotten this, why were they so were they just against biological life? Is that why they were trying to destroy the humans?
When they were on that crappy planet, they found that abandoned city, didn't they? And it was full of dead bodies.
Right.
They were stuck to some core program about wiping out so I think this organic life has been like their oppressors. Like the Kalons, you know. And Strike, is it Scar or Strike, the one with the red sort of
because
face,
there's I can't remember. I can't remember his name.
Because they were terrified of the boy, because it's like the kid. He freed that robot from its program that started evolving.
Mm-hmm. I made him into his own individual, and he saw that as a threat.
They outgrew the program, because it seemed that the robot was with them was quite ashamed of what they did to their creators. Right. You know, there was some kind of battle, obviously, which maybe, you know, but their programming put them that way. And how Earth got interstellar travel was through a crashed robot ship on Earth or something.
I don't remember any of that. I don't remember half.
Well, that's what I think, because they got the technology to hyperdrive. And so, but he was the red robot, the Scar or Stripe or whatever who were called. He was terrified because they all wanted to kill that kid. Something in Will Robinson turned some of the robot freed them from the constrictions, but the red one wanted to stay that way, because when Penny, she merged with one of them, didn't she? There was
at the end,
and the same thing. It was like human, like their evolution needed something from us.
But at the end, there was a few. In the last few episodes, there was about 6 or 7 which actually also changed, and they were then friendly, and they kind of adopted the same thing. But you think the ending was rushed because it's done very well apparently the ratings, Netflix, whatever it is, it's actually doing very well at the moment with regard to it says Lost in Space takes the honours in the latest Nielsen's, and it says that with the rank for the streamer, this was recently, it hasn't got the date, but it says that 1,207 million minutes watched in Lost in Space is at number 1, and Lost in Space, and then Hawkeye, it's beaten Hawkeye of all things, I thought, which is at number 3. So from what I could see, it's done very well. So, I mean, do you think then, I mean, obviously they wrap things up. Do you think that they originally planned to wrap it up after 3 seasons, or do you think it was because of COVID that it affected the end of it, or what?
I don't know. I think it was COVID. I just found, I thought the series was very good.
Very good production value.
I really thought it was very good. It ended, you got a fantastic ending to it.
Yeah,
a great. You got a really great. I just think there could have been a bit more.
Yeah, maybe.
I found Dr. Smith were a bit wasted as well, because I quite liked her that played Smith.
In the last season, she was more in the background. The last season, she was kind of she wasn't so manipulative.
She was becoming nice as well. And
she wasn't so manipulative. Yeah, in the early ones, she was really out for herself.
She was being manipulative.
That's right. Yeah, she wasn't in the last season. I noticed that as well.
I would have liked more backstory with the robots. I think another season of. Yeah, again, it's going to be the same thing, isn't it? They end up on a planet for 10 episodes or running about and finding it, you know. Maybe probably what best way to finish it. I just thought there could have been a lot more background with the robots. But apart from that, I really enjoyed it, but it did finish on the right note. I have to say that it really did. So I watched it. I've got to say I was very touched by it. I really enjoyed it. Would I go back and watch it again? No. It's one of them things I'll watch once and probably move on.
Yeah, you said that because I remember you said that about For All Mankind. You enjoyed it, but I mean, it's funny. I definitely am going to keep a copy of it and watch it again at some point in the future. It's the thing is, which is strange, I didn't retain a lot of what happened in the first 2 seasons after the gap. So I don't know whether I just, because it was a long time ago. I will definitely see it at some point. There was a 2-year gap
with each series, wasn't there?
Yeah, but I remember a lot of the stories of the Orville, and that was about 2 or 3 years ago. And I still remember the Kalon
season.
Season
2 were like a year and a half before we saw it, and then season 3 were 2 years.
Maybe it was too spread out. Maybe that was a problem.
Yeah, and there is. I mean, I have to say, Lost in Space, incredibly high production.
I was about to say that it was really well made. I think the special effects are better than Discovery in some of the shots. Especially again, lots more ship shots, beautiful space scenes, planets, stuff that you don't get. Have you noticed with Discovery? It's always this sort of cloudy-looking space. You never see space that's properly black with the stars. It's always like greenish tinge, slightly murky, looking like you've sort of like brought up the contrast on your TV or something. On this, you see a space shot, you see one of the Jupiters or something. It looks really quite epic, and again, I know that the special effects shouldn't be the main factor of a show, but this series for what it was, I don't know how much it was actually cost to make, but it was obviously a lot of money was pumped into it, and it looked really good. It looked really good. Same as The Expanse looks really good as well. Those sort of shows you can, and again The Mandalorian, and even The Orville. Again, I'm going back to Discovery, but I just feel that a lot of these other shows, I don't know what it is about the special effects on Discovery. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about that one. But yeah, very good. I like the fact that Will Robinson, because there's a lovely scene in the last episode where we saw Will Robinson, who's now about 14. He's just about to go, his voice is getting deeper, he's starting to go through puberty, and there's a shot where you see him from the first episode and he looks so young, and it's nice because obviously there was a big gap where they couldn't film the 3rd season, so it's been about, I don't know when, 2018 was I think when it started, so that's 4 years ago, and you can tell how much the young actor had aged in those few years when they made the series, which I thought was quite a nice sort of touching thing.
I like the scene when Dr. Smith were going to kill that person that survived him.
Oh, yeah.
And the robot stopped her in the hospital.
Yeah, I like that.
It knew what she were doing and it stopped her. I really like that scene. I found it quite touching. I can understand how she changed because she's around people that cared about each other, and even though she's quite despicable and manipulative, it's like they had to put up with her, and it did affect her because her environment. It affected her, didn't it? It really did. I did like that growth. I would have liked to seen a bit. I'd like to have seen that transformation over another season.
Yeah.
And that she only becomes like that when she needs to survive, because she couldn't kill that guy. And the robot just put his arm there and stops her. And that really affects it. I have to say, I mean, I think 4 seasons would have rounded it off wonderfully, but what we got was well worth it. And I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, how long did the original series go on for? How many seasons? Do you remember how long?
I think it was 4, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was 4. I mean, the original series, I mean, I can't...
I've not seen it for many years. I remember it being on Channel 4.
The original series is interesting because before it became the robot Dr. Smith show, when it all just got... I mean, it's really... I mean, Lost in Space, you're either going to resent it or like it. I can put up with it for a few episodes, the original series.
I couldn't get into it. I couldn't get into the original
In the first season, Dr. Smith is actually evil. And he's quite snidey, and he's always causing problems, but he will sacrifice them. By second season, suddenly it's him, the robot, and the...
Will Robinson, the kid.
It comes this comedy show, which suddenly it draws you in, because 3 of them are quite funny. But there is a pilot episode for the original series, which I've seen, you get it on the DVD set, and Dr. Smith is not in it. It's just
really?
the family. Yeah, and it's absolutely boring.
Really? So
boring,
he was that ingredient. I mean, so maybe.
Yeah.
What do you think? Maybe they changed the Smith, the female Smith of the new version, in many ways to a lesser degree. She was less of a threat, the same as the original Smith was in the first series. Maybe they kind of parallel.
I mean, it's second season. I mean, they were just running about screaming all the time, weren't they? It caused a problem and sent family down river, and then they'd have to go in and save him, and then somewhere he'd do the right thing, but only because he's forced to. And then there was stuff like that. I found this Smith quite interesting, because she was very manipulative.
I thought she was great. I liked her a lot.
And I have to say, I did like her. She's a fantastic actress.
Yeah, I thought she was really good.
She's quite a big Hollywood star as well.
Yeah, she was great.
All of them in this, they're all quite
actually
big
all
actors.
the actors, all the characters were really good in it. Even the kids were good. I can't fault the show at all for that. I mean, it's I just wish I'd seen it in, like, how you like to binge watch something and go straight through it. I wish I hadn't seen it so sort of segmented, broken up. I think it was definitely a binge show. So like spend a week just go through it. You say
this is it's like the Mando or the you say Mando like you said about going back to stuff. Like I couldn't watch Lost in Space again, or like For All Mankind. When you and Tom got me into it, and I watched it, and I've got to admit I can't wait for season 3. But I couldn't watch For All Mankind once a week because there's so many threads and so many
elements going on.
Elements going on in 1 hour that you need. By the time a week's gone, you're losing your connection. And that's what I mean. It's like The Expanse. I'm not watching it until next week because there's so much in there that I need to.
I cannot wait to talk to you about that. Once it's finished, we're going to have a special on that one. I know we've already done The Expanse, but
that's it. It's just certain things I can't go back.
But with the Star Trek series, though, and Orville and some of the old Doctor Who's, I could delve into them any time. I mean,
I watched Doctor Who and the Mutants and Doctor Who and the Sea Devils, and from the 70s, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching that. I really enjoyed watching it, but then again, could I watch Star Trek Discovery on a second round? No, I don't think I could.
I have tried to do that. I have tried to do the odd episode of Discovery, the ones which are more standalone. And they're okay, but it's hard to do that.
It's not the same though, is it? When you go to Next Generation, start watching episodes like Drumhead or IQ and the Borg, you can sit there and binge watch episodes you've seen 40, 50 times and still.
And Stargate as well.
Stargate, Babylon 5 as well. There's that you can just, even though you know what's going to happen,
doesn't matter. You know what you look forward to it.
Okay, why can you do that with that stuff? But you can't do it with like Discovery, Lost in Space. I couldn't watch it again. I've got a plan for The Expanse. Once I've got seen the final episode, I'm going straight back to the first. I'm going to binge watch all 6 seasons.
I might do the same. Like I said, I mean, obviously no spoilers. It's interesting what they're doing with this season, but I can't wait to talk to you about it once you've seen it. I'm not going to say anything else about it, but like I said, it's good that they're doing it. It's a shame it's a shorter season, but I'm interested to see what I've only got 2 more episodes to go, and I don't know what they're going to do with that because I'm not going to say anyway.
So is the final episode of The Expanse like an hour and a half special?
I think it's a feature length episode. I think. I'm not 100%. I think. Like I said, once you've seen that, we'll have to have a big show about that, or just a big discussion about it, and see how it goes. So let's just round off Lost in Space. A very good series. Definitely a series, as you've already said, that you need to go back and watch it again from the beginning. You can't just delve into the odd episode because it's all too entwined into the arcs and stuff like that. Which again, I don't like. I like that Doctor Who or the older Star Treks where you have sometimes loose storylines, or Stargate, but you can still delve into an episode and it won't spoil that episode. You can just enjoy it. You know what I mean? And some of these new shows, please, when they finally show Strange New Worlds, please make them just good. I know it's going to be standalone episodes. Please make them good, and I want to delve into it again, like Star Trek Continues or something like that, which is the fan series. So anyway, all right, Martin. Any last words on Lost in Space before we go into?
No, I think I've said what I've had to say. I think I've had.
Thank you. Brilliant. Me too. So thank you for that. Let's go into our some news. Let's go into it and see how it goes. Here we go.
Working.
Solar Sci-Fi
News.
All right, so we've already mentioned that Lost in Space takes place, which has been doing with the actual the Nielsen ratings, which have been good. One thing which we found out last week, I think it was, which was a bit of a surprise, is that Discovery season 4 part 2, it's been split now. There's a month break, which I assume is to do with post-production and stuff like that. Are you bothered? Is it a major factor for you? Or... Was that a silly question?
Well, personally, I'd rather just get it over and done with, you know what I mean? But but we've got something to moan and whinge about in February, so that's good, isn't it?
And Doctor Who, of course, we've got the Sea Devils are coming back after since 1984 in Warriors of the Deep, I think, their last appearance. What do you think of did you see the new design of Sea Devils? What did you think about them in the trailer?
They were all right. It'd be nice to see Sea Devils again. You know, it'd be interesting.
I think they're CGI.
You know, last one I saw was Peter Davison with Panto Horse that were meant to be a monster. And apparently that was same Pantos costume.
He's behind you,
used on Rent-A-Ghost.
No, what, like the horse or something?
Yeah, well, part of it,
my
the horse,
God.
The horse, yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but it gets worse, doesn't it? I mean, but you've got to admire the BBC for being cheap and stingy. So hopefully they'll be bringing Dobby the Panzer horse back for the latest episode. Well, it won't
his brand new tour, his 2022 tour. And you get Mr. Claypole back as well with the sound effects and everything else.
We should cover Rent-A-Ghost, you know.
I couldn't face it. I've watched the odd episode. I think there's some on YouTube.
Should do it.
I need to. I can't remember it that well. It was just the most surreal show I've ever seen in my life. It was a children's show, but it was more than that. It was bizarre. It's like some of those shows, like Catweasel was another strange one, and
I remember that.
And Words of Gummidge was another one as well.
Yeah, I like Words of Gummidge. I like that. Didn't they bring that back? I thought
that. The guy from The Office was doing it. Yeah, I saw the guy because the guy from The Office was doing it. It looked awful. I didn't watch it. It just looked awful.
Give that on this. No. You know, the only bit of news I got: Spider-Man, the movies, took $1 billion in its first week.
I know, first film to reach that point since the pandemic, which is very good. You know, so obviously it's
good. It's very good.
I think
it's the best Marvel film of this year.
Yeah, and that's good because, of course, you know, you wonder how the cinema industry is going to get back on its feet. But if it can still make films which make that much money, that's really good. And of course, that's good for Marvel, which is excellent. So I'll certainly check it out when it's a digital copy is out, which won't be long probably. Did you go and see it at the cinema then? Did you go and see it properly? Oh, you must have done.
No, just appeared on the screen.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I woke up and it was there. It's like when
I know. Well, I was like that with Ghostbusters.
I don't know. It sort of appeared. I thought,
I know. It's like Paul Daniels.
I went to the cinema to see it.
Yes, exactly. I'm sure you had a very good time. What else is there going on? I mean, I was looking at the actual films for this year, and the only film there's a new Doctor Strange, isn't there? There's a new Marvel Doctor Strange. Is it Doctor Strange? He's got one coming this year. But the only film I'm really looking forward to, which should be good, is Avatar 2, which won't be till December. So I don't know if you're that bothered about that. Really? Can't be bothered? I thought you'd be up for that one. No?
Bod, absolutely, bod. Different as the first one.
You really did like. I quite like the first one.
I went to see that and we paid. We had to, what were it? 12 quid to go see.
I saw it in 3D with the glasses.
Yeah, and then you had to pay another 2 quid for the sodding glasses.
I felt sick watching it with the glasses.
Now I will say, if it wasn't for Avatar, special effects wouldn't be where they are today. Avatar is back in the day is a special effects dream. but the actual story was nothing new. I found the film monotonous, boring, and that was it. But I will say, when I was in the cinema, I was blown away by the special effects, but it offered nothing new.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. I liked it, but as you say, the problem is that you and I, we've seen so many different shows and so many different films which often sort of have some similarities in their premises to these things, that eventually, my problem is that whenever I watch something now, I think, oh, that's the episode that I saw in Doctor Who, or oh, I remember they did that on Stargate, or I've seen that in something like that in Star Wars. Even good example this week, we saw the new Tatooine creature. It's the Kraken from the old 60s film. You know, you kind of eventually get to the point where you do kind of go around in circles with stuff that you've seen before.
I'm getting a bit worried because I'm thinking now that you say, like, I did enjoy Ghostbusters, and when I watched The Matrix, they did the exact same thing as what they did in Ghostbusters. Are we going to be going through a stage of homage movies to the original? Is this the new phase we're moving? Now, we've had remakes of everything, right? And there's more remakes on the way. But is everything now going to be a homage to the original? You know, because Ghostbusters was excellent. I loved all of it with Goes. I thought it was great. The thing is, what's Ghostbusters 2 going to be like? Because that's going to be standalone, and that's where it could go down the toilet.
Well, unless they do Vigo from Ghostbusters 2, the original.
Well, apparently it's meant to. They are bringing Vigo back, yeah.
Well, they are. So, I mean, do you think they will make a sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife?
I think they're already planning it now.
So,
I think they've worked out an arc. They've worked out a story arc for it also.
I mean, because obviously they got the young actors in it, and I thought that the one that played the girl, the tomboy girl, she was really good. She was fantastic.
She was definitely Egon. She was.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and the ending was superb when the trap goes. And they could always bring Gozer back for a third movie anyway, you know. Because
let's go into.
I ain't got a problem with Gozer coming back.
We're going to give a quick spoiler warning. So if you've not seen Ghostbusters Afterlife, just tune out for about 3 minutes. What did you think about Egon's ghost at the end of Afterlife coming back? Because I thought that was done
I thought
very well.
It was a beautiful touch.
I mean, he didn't say anything. I thought he was going to speak, but even so, I mean, the CGI, the way, I don't know how they did it, but it looked just like him, and it was really quite creepy.
Fantastic.
Quite touching.
I'm looking forward to it. But have you heard the controversy about the Paul Feige's been carrying on? Who did which should I mention in the film? You know, the 2016 one. You know.
Oh no! What now?
Well, he's been really carrying on because they're releasing a special edition Ghostbusters Blu-ray set.
I heard about it. It's going to be all the films, even including that one as well.
Yeah. Well, no. Originally, it was going to be all free. Just, you know, the original, the two originals, and this one, and it was going to be set in a trap and some bits with it. But he carried on saying, you know, why are you putting that one in there? So Sony capitulated. But yeah, I don't think it's going in. When you get the box set, you get a thing for a free digital copy of it. Oh, he's not happy about it because he's been all over Twitter carrying on about it, saying, well, the film did have a fan base and people do. Yeah, but all right, it might have a few fan base, but it bombed, didn't it? And the thing about making a film, making money, isn't it? Yeah, I don't mind it. To be honest, I don't mind the 2016 one. I mean, it was all right. You know, I'm not going to get on the hate bandwagon. But to me, when they made it, they offered nothing new with it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's a reboot. But I have to say, after seeing now Afterlife compared to the 2016 one, Afterlife is so much better. I mean, it really is.
Well, Afterlife, it fitted in with that universe. It was so well connected. Even the cinematography and the screen, everything, it was that same feel as the original two movies.
Even the sound effects of the proton packs. It's a bit when he gets a proton pack and you get the sound on, and it was just like, oh, this is so good. Because I'm a big sound guy, and I just love
I have one issue with the film, which I found the wasted a fantastic issue.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Ivor Shandor.
Who's that?
He built the building in the first.
Oh, yeah, that's what. Yeah, he was in it briefly.
And then she
he just sort of
tore
disappeared.
him apart, didn't she?
Yeah,
but he's been around. Like, because apparently Ghostbusters 3 the computer game was the official sequel, and the main villain in the game is Ivor Shandor.
Yeah, I heard about that. I remember now.
The movie clips joined together on YouTube as a film, and it was very good because Ivor Shandor's a genius. He's sick, and he's really a disturbed individual, and he's malevolent. And when he met Goza, she just tore him apart. I don't want. Why do we
really threw away the character? Really,
and I just think that you could have brought Shandor back for another movie. You could have
built they could do as a ghost. It could come back in some spiritual form.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I think that's true.
Maybe that's done on. I don't think it was done on purpose. Yeah, but obviously, I don't think they will. But they could do. But I don't think it's done on purpose. But they could have killed him off so that he comes back in maybe a more powerful spiritual form.
Yeah, that could be. Maybe that's what they're going to do. But I would like to see.
I don't think it was done that. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I wasn't aware of the character until I heard about this game thing. But I mean, like I said, he was in the film for literally about 15 seconds, lying there, and then he comes to life, and then he gets destroyed or whatever it was. So. But, and also we didn't see Slimer. I thought we were going to see Slimer as well.
We got Muncher, didn't we? We got Muncher on there.
Yeah, was Muncher in the cartoon or something? I've never heard of Muncher.
I don't know. I've only seen cartoon on and off. Really.
No, but I still, like I said, I think it's a really good film. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And like I said, it's still good that they can do new films. But again, as you say, it's all remakes. Hollywood just seems to be out of ideas for the most part. And I don't know why there's the lack of creativity that there was even a decade ago. There's something wrong.
Have we got? So what's new coming next year? Is that this year? What are the big movies this year then?
Yeah, like I said, I was looking at the top 10.
Doctor Strange, I know that.
Doctor Strange and Avatar are the only two I could think of. Oh, we've got the new Top Gun. Maverick's finally going to come out, isn't it?
Not that.
Yeah, well, I still want to see it. I know you're not mad at me.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
I do want to see that. Because
Come
on. I do like
you need to. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because he's such a wanker. You need to see. Sometimes you need to watch a wankfest movie. You're going to sit there and you're cringing because he's been so embarrassing as a human being that you're going to kick your coffee table up in there.
Would you like to see a Tom Cruise War of the Worlds 2, a sequel to the 2005 War of the Worlds?
Fuck off then. Fuck off. No. Are they? Are they doing?
No, they're not. I was just asking whether you thought what you think they did that.
No. I mean, I don't mind that one. I don't mind it, but I just want a proper version of it.
Yeah, well, we've never had it. I mean, the closest is the musical version. That's the closest version.
I'd like to see the musical done as a movie, to be honest.
There is.
I really would like to, even an animated movie with the music in that. I really would like to see that done properly.
Yeah. I don't think they will.
I think that would be $1 billion hit at the cinema.
The BBC could have done it.
No,
don't go to the BBC. Don't go. No.
We watch that every week, didn't we, Sunday? We watch it every Sunday.
When we first did the podcast, we were doing that, didn't we? That's right.
And I watched the first one. I thought, well, it's not the first one,
I love War of the World so much. I've got it on there. I've got it on my phone, which you can't really see there, but it's got all the different.
Yes, I can see bits of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a bloody. But
and then we got episode 2. We got episode 2 of Raina, just the coffee table.
Oh no! It was terrible.
Anyway, 3 hours of my life I'm never gonna get back.
Oh god, it was terrible. Oh, I saw Ghoulies over Christmas. You went on about Ghoulies.
Yes, I read. I
didn't like that. That was shite. That was terrible.
I thought it would be somehow. That's why I don't want to watch it.
It was awful. It was terrible.
I saw that at the cinema. I did years ago. It came out when Gremlins, sometime after Gremlins.
Yeah. It was obviously
that's like that last podcast I made about the toilet seat.
Yeah. I know. That's it. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Absolute
terrible.
Shite movie.
I love. Well. Yeah, they did 4. They did 4 films apparently.
No. 4 Ghoulie movies.
Yeah, I'm not watching any more of that. I mean, I like Critters, and I quite like Critters too. And of course, I like Gremlins and Gremlins 2, but Ghoulies was not on anywhere near as good as Gremlins or Critters. Ghoulies was terrible. I mean, these characters were like hardly in the film at all, and it was just a mess. The whole film was just a mess. It was terrible. Not good at all. Anyway, that's about it for news. Unless you've got anything else your end, I think we're pretty much done, aren't we?
No. I've no doubt as the year progresses, we'll get more news and things will be revealed. But we have got some. We've got For All Mankind coming. We've got Orville coming. We've got Picard coming, and
New Worlds. Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Andor series.
Andor, So I think we've got enough for this year.
And the Mandalorian maybe as well. And also,
definitely Mando.
I think that might be on at the end of the year. It might be. I know they're filming it now, and they should be finishing.
I'm going to tell you something. The best thing I've seen this Christmas. You need to start watching Cobra Kai.
Oh, blimey! Everybody says that.
I'm being serious.
I know. Everybody says it.
I envy you because you've got 4 seasons to watch. And it's easy to get through because each episode's 30 minutes long.
I don't fancy it. I don't like it.
Honestly, you won't be able to turn it off. What
What is it you like about it? What is so good about this series? Because everybody says the same thing. Everybody.
Have you seen the Karate Kid movies? Have you seen them?
Not really. I was never into karate.
Well, you don't need to. You know what happens. Right?
All I know is there's this kid and there's this like Mr. Fu Manchu.
No, it's not Fu Manchu. No. What it is it starts off about the person that lost the fight in the first movie. Okay. The character, Johnny Lawrence, and it's set today. That if you jump into his life, and he's very resentful of the Karate Kid guy, and he's turned out to be a bit of a wanker now, actually. Because he's successful and all this, and it's about him. He's quite. He's not. He's quite. He hasn't got time for like being a pussy, and he sets up this dojo and all these teenagers with all the problems he's going, and it's hilarious. But it's also very dark because there's dark characters that come into it, and it's where it's all going. But you could see there's only 10 episodes; they're all 30 minutes long. After you won't better turn it off because it jumps back to the films and you start getting the full picture.
How many
season 4 got released last week.
How many Karate Kid films were there?
There were 3, and then there were a 4th one with a girl.
So do you need to see all the original films then?
No, you don't need to see them because you have flashbacks. That's all you need.
But do they actually go back to the films themselves?
Yeah. What's so clever about it is that the 3 films, like there's that story, but the people that wrote this, they've been complete geniuses where they put the characters today.
Yeah, okay.
It's quite good because the guy called Johnny Lawrence, this girl joins the dojo and he said, we can't have girls joining here, and like he's got these like young guys with him going, oh God, you can't. He said, I don't want you being girly things and being emotional and all this. And she said, but how can I stop being a girl? And he's going, and like with kids, you're all pussies, with your problems and all this. He's really, that progressive generation. Meet the 1980s. He's that, and his life has turned out quite bitter. Well, the other guy, there's big billboards of him selling cars and all this, and obviously there's a conflict coming, and then the villains coming that were in the last movie. Trust me, I don't want to spoil it for you. Sit down with your family, put it on, and trust me, next week you'll be going, we all watched that together, I couldn't turn it off.
All right, okay, well, I'll keep that in mind, definitely.
Sarah, the best 5 hours on the 31st, and that sorted me for New Year's Eve. It was marvellous.
Yeah.
And it's one of them uplifts your emotions. It's great. Okay. Give it a go.
All right, I will do it. Okay, everybody says so. I will listen to you, and I respect your opinion. So definitely, I'll be doing that. And I still want to see Foundation as well. We're going to review.
Yes, I've got it all. I've got it.
All right, so we're going to do that if it's okay with you in 2 weeks' time. So if you don't mind, we'll get.
I've got a friend. I feel well. It's on the.
Yeah, it's online.
That's fine. Yeah, it's ready to go.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Start on that. I think I'm not really doing much this weekend apart from sorting that Elgato streaming thing out.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So I'm going to start on Foundation. I know it's going to be outgoing.
Yeah, it's quite. I liked it. I mean, like I said, I can't wait to talk to you about that. There's a lot of interesting aspects of that. I need to watch it again. I might try and watch it again before we do our show in 2 weeks' time. Anyway, let's finish off now. Martin, thank you very much. We're going to finish off. I came across a rock version of the Lost in Space theme tune, original theme tune, which I think is the same, similar one. So let's play that. And Martin will be back next week with the proper full review of The Matrix Resurrection, which is going to be an interesting one. I can't wait to have a proper long talk about that and work out the pros and cons of, again, another Hollywood knee-jerk reaction, trying to make a bit of money out of a existing franchise film.
Yeah, let's milk it,
Exactly. Okay, next week we'll be back. Thank you very much, Martin. We'll see you next time on the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast.